Hi everyone, I'm Isabella Stanke and I am advocating for smaller classroom sizes. This is a very passionate subject for me because I have grown up in three different types of schooling environments. I was homeschooled for all of elementary, and then for middle school, I was in a private school. And then to kick it off, I went to public school for high school. Um, and then I also went to a community college, and then a university. So I've done my fair share of all different kinds of schools, and kind of like the one big takeaway that I took from all my experiences was in my private school and in homeschooling, the smaller classrooms really did help with the engaging of learning, and the learning outcomes just seemed a little bit better with myself and my classmates. That was just something that I saw hands on. And when beginning this project, it was really easy to get carried away with like the different solutions and ideas that I personally had with creating smaller classroom sizes. However, I had to like ring it in and be a little bit more realistic with timelines because, we are in a pandemic, and it is kind of a stretch to think that a smaller classroom could be implemented as fast as this next semester or something like that, depending on your district and the funding too. So I created a step by step list of kind of a plan that I wanted to see and implement in our Southern California districts. And as I laid out my plan, I actually got a lot of help from my interview that I conducted during, I think, lesson 4. And I interviewed an independent tutor who works in the education system, and she gave me a lot of feedback regarding, different ways that I can take my advocacy plan and even just like help students and teachers now. And that could even look like, and I'll explain this later in my action plan, but implementing teachers' assistants and creating more help in the classroom so students don't have to just look up to one teacher. Now you have like an assistant or a helper, and then you can divide classes into groups, do group work that cultivates, community within the classroom and relationships. So those were just like little ideas that I got, and it kind of got the ball rolling a little bit more than I already kind of had. So the first action that I wanted to take is locating all the leader information through the districts. And there's a few different districts that I was working with, which one of them is Capistrano Valley Unified, and one of my good friends works for Capo, and so I've been picking her brain throughout this process. And so that's been really fun and interesting, and she's all on board with smaller classrooms, and she does suggest it's going to take a long time, especially with bigger districts that have already set their teachers, and you have people who are working tenure, things like that. So there are a lot of different factors that are going to be playing into smaller classrooms, and we're looking at like a 5-year plan, or less, hopefully. And so I have stayed in touch with those who work in the education system, the tutor, my friend who works at Capo, also working with Saddleback Unified and emailing district admins. So far, nothing yet. However, still pushing, still knocking on the door. I specifically wanted to create a visual representation of my advocacy plan and utilize more of the marketing tactic to engage the admins and people who work in the district, just so they could see like what my plan is and like what the power of having a smaller classroom would look like and what that could do for our students. In pursuits of smaller classrooms, before anything else, I am writing a grant proposal to advocate for teachers' assistants. So given the grant proposal is given, then we're able to move forward with teachers' assistants and like the extra help in the classroom. With the current pandemic, there are a lot of ifs and buts with this, and I think one of the biggest issues that the pandemic is posing right now in the education system is just not having enough support on the teacher side. One teacher versus 30 students in a Zoom classroom, it's been really hard, and I've been seeing that firsthand with some of my friends and their kids. So it is a struggle, and I think by creating a smaller classroom now and like working towards that, we could prevent having that like issue later with big Zoom classrooms and things like that. So the impact of my initiative is that our future is really important. Creating a smaller classroom is going to cultivate a lot of more positives in the classroom, and that starts with a positive relationship with your teacher, your classmates, cultivating a little bit more of that confidence with the student himself or herself, and speaking up, raising your hand. When you're in a bigger classroom, you are faced with a lot of judgment and like fear of judgment, especially as young developing teens and teenagers. You're going to be getting that a lot, and so having a smaller classroom can really help students zone in on who they are in their learning process, and um, just kind of like creating a better relationship with learning and not fearing it. So this process has been long. It's been hard. I never thought that I would, like look at something in a class as like a project and then actually really be passionate about it, and move forward with it in the future. And I really do hope that, the ball does get rolling a little bit more and this project turns into a reality, because that's the thing. Like, this is something that needs to happen, and this is a reality that we need to face as future educators. But yeah, I appreciate you guys coming along with the journey of my advocacy program. I look forward to looking at your guys' websites, and this project has been so eye-opening and so fun, and yeah, I'm excited for the future. Thank you.